Yeah, that's I get funny visions like that of some of the stuff we do. But,
Yeah, I mean, it. I don't know. The last couple of weeks, the role play has been really good, and so it's easy to picture in your head some of this
yeah,
ridiculous crap that's going on because you guys, both of the groups are being extremely methodical and very detailed about stuff they want to do, which is good. I mean,
yeah,
especially for a game like Traveler. I mean, there are times, especially in our Pirates game, where you know, of course, it's just going to be a flood of combat. That's that's just the
yeah.
nature of Pirates of Dryanax. You're not going to really get around that. But both of the groups the past 3-4 weeks have been really good about role play and really diving in and digging into the meat of these adventures.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've looked at several different systems worth of adventures written in many different ways, and they always provide tons of crap
Right.
that never really gets in the adventure unless the right things line up. But you, as the game master, have to read all that
Right.
crap, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I tell people what they missed, especially in Dungeons and Dragons. They'll leave a room or something, and I'll be like, you know, just so you guys as players know, there was a tome in there that had funny poems, and I really like this one, so I'm going to go ahead and read it to you.
Yeah. Because I don't want to give it up. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I remember when I was a kid. Well, not even when I was a kid. Clear up into my early 30s. When we ran a D&D game, man, we were completionists. Like there was never if there was any way to avoid it, there was no room left untouched. When we were done, that map was complete. And now, more and more, uh, the groups have been, and I think this is a 5e problem, is that the rooms are, well, we don't need to go in there. We've gotten to our objective, so fuck that room,
Yeah.
And
Well,
part of
that's the
it,
milestone
I was just going
versus.
to say milestone XP. You don't,
Yeah.
and let's be honest, with fifth edition, um, there's no built-in money sink.
No.
So
No, and money is really worthless after. I mean, once you get like your plate mail and all that. I mean, everybody in every campaign in Dungeons and Dragons just seems like you got a bunch of 12th level characters with nothing to spend the millions of gold pieces that they have on. There's nothing whatsoever.
right,
I mean, they've got magic armor. We used to buy kegs of fucking healing potions. Buy them, 10 of them, make a little pony keg.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we
in
uh,
my home campaign, we basically created a corporation, and each of the new campaigns, or when we get new characters, they end up being either employees off of that corporation or franchisees, and
oh
so
yeah,
they have money, or they have something to blow their money on.
right.
Advancing the corporation, buying ships, investing in cargo, new lucrative
Mm,
trade routes, things of that nature. So there's always something to do, but running campaigns as written, um, it's dumb. And the first time that we
yeah.
ran into it, the first adventure we ever ran was Curse of Strahd, and they literally had to purchase a cart and a donkey off of a couple of peasants in Barovia because they had to have someplace to put all the bags of silverware and jewelry boxes and stupid shit because they were stealing everything that wasn't nailed down. They had to have someplace to put it to cart it around. And I mean, we weren't even bothering with encumbrance rules, but at least my party was, logical to the point where, like, well, we're not going to be carrying around, we're not. It's not going to be like Santa Claus with
Yeah.
a glad garbage bag full of silverware over their shoulder. And so, yeah, there was just. I mean, at least in that campaign, they were trapped in Barovia. There was nowhere to spend the money. But
Yeah.
even afterwards, we carried those characters over and then did Tyranny of Dragons. There was still nowhere to really spend the money. It was just
the old days at 10th level. That's when you needed to clear the area of forest and build your keep.
And build your keep, and you had some place to
that
spend
was the big money. That was the money sink was, but yeah, when you're in what's it the
Venture League,
Strahd's home.
Ravenloft.
You're in Ravenloft. It's not like you're going to clear a keep area,
right? And you don't want to stay there anyways. I mean,
no,
even with Strahd gone, the whole place is a dump.
I'm playing that campaign right now.
I really don't. I've never liked Ravenloft. It's just like it's basically. How do you force your players to end up in a place they don't want to be, and then punish them for being there?
Right.
Is really what it comes down to. And I'm like, it's not enjoyable to me. It's like my entire character's motivation is get the hell out of here.
Right.
And the whole campaign is designed to prevent them from being able to leave.
I'm playing a fairy, the race fairy, and it's a divine soul sorcerer. I'm the party's healer, and I wrote the character as if it were a male Tinkerbell. Yeah, because the DM let me be tiny, and so we're going around with these vampires and wolves and all kinds of shit, and here I am, this little fairy wiping glitter on everything.
I played a pixie in Earth Dawn. I was an I was a pixie barbarian.
So it's about the same thing, except for I'm a spellcaster, and you were a melee fighter, probably. That's
right. That would go into rages.
Yeah, but that's funny.
I had a little man complex.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the sorcerer class is one of those ones that stacks charisma. So as a tiny fairy, I fucked around and pulled off an intimidation that made people run away, which was kind of funny. But that's 5e flaws and probably a little DM failure. But
5e has so many flaws. I mean, even at level 1, the characters are essentially superheroes. So,
I think my biggest complaint about 5e is just that it needs the subclasses rebalanced, because there's some subclasses that are just grossly worse than other subclasses, and it just feels like if you're a new player, you can accidentally pick a subclass and then sit down at the table and realize, oh, I picked the wrong one. This is shit, and it's a balance issue that I.
Well, the Adventure League rules were all the way through 3rd level. At any given time, you can revamp your character. You just can't change the race,
right,
or the equipment that you have. So, but I mean, whatever.
Well, with Pathfinder Society, you could rebuild your character anytime up to 2nd level. I was actually the one that got that implemented in Pathfinder Society. It was a house rule, because we had situations where players were new to the game, and so they picked their 1st level feat, not realizing that they couldn't even use it. They would pick like a meta magic feat and then find out that they can't even use it until their 3rd level. And so you're going, well, you just pick something else.
Well, and with Pathfinder, it had, well, at least with 1st edition, it had the same problem as 3rd edition and 3.5, is that if you're planning on playing that character all the way to level 20, you have to sit down and plan out what feats you're going to take at every interval, all the way.
You may not have it. Yeah, you might skip a pre-rack and then find out that you made a mistake.
Right.
So, yeah. So we with Pathfinder Society, I was the venture lieutenant for the entire Central Valley of California, and for 4 years. And so I just said, look, this is stupid. We've got people who are new to the game. They don't know what they're doing. They're walking in with their first character. We should let them rebuild their character if they're not happy with how they originally built it, and that way they can, And so that was So I'm happy to hear Adventure League had something similar, because it just happens. You've got people who are they get the book and they build their character, and then they sit down and play and they realize, oh, it doesn't work like I thought, and it's don't punish them for that. Let them.
But I mean, in the old days, if you made a character and you played him 1 or 2 sessions and you decided you didn't like that character, you just made another character.
Yeah,
It really doesn't matter. They're not real people.
The downside we saw with Pathfinder Society is that occasionally you'd get somebody who was just a real wuss. And so there was this one guy, he goes, every single one of my characters is always a first level barbarian. I make a first level barbarian, I put toughness, I make sure he starts with like 18 hit points, and then when I hit level 2, that's when I build him as a wizard. He goes, I don't want to die at first level, so I always make it. So you would have some people that would really kind of take advantage of that rule, but most people did not.
Hey man, that's why I like old school essentials. I can attack a 5th level character with goblins and kill them. I mean,
you can't in Pathfinder 2. You just need to figure out a creative way to do
it. True. Well, I mean, technically you can in 5th edition too, but man, it's gonna be a lot of work. That's gonna be a lot of goblins.
Fifth is a very, very non-lethal system. Especially once you make it past 3rd level.
It's designed for the Sparkle Trolls. I mean, there are entire threads on Twitter where these people playing 5th edition insist that at session 0, the players have to give the DM consent to kill their characters. And I'm like, what? Like, no. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
Here, you've got my permission to play my characters if I'm not there. If they get died, I promise you I will not get ass hurt about it. I won't cry. I won't bitch and moan and groan.
That's because
I
we're
won't
adults.
wander off.
I mean, the biggest problem with character death is usually just that it interrupts the story.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's really when you're running a long campaign.
Right, and that's
that's really the problem with character death, is not so much that the person lost their character, it's that possibly the group as a whole just lost a whole slew of adventure
this
thread.
campaign as an example is that we are doing this long lead in to start the campaign because I wanted to get you guys a little bit of XP before we get into this, which to me makes more sense. And if one of you, even if one of you dies and you have to make a new character, all of that's lost.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, you bring in a new character. Yeah.
You can say, look, I'll let you, tell a connection story here with 3 party members, and you can get a skill.
Undoubtedly, I would, but it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, it won't, but it's something. I mean, you can feel your whole.
Like I said, that's usually the biggest problem with character death, is that it interrupts the storyline.
Right. Well, welcome. Speaking of storylines, welcome to Deepnight Revelation. We'll be picking up where we left off last week. These guys have arrived at New Home after you guys were in Jump for 3 weeks, roughly.
Yes, 3 weeks.
And so they are going to land. They decided they're going to land on the planet and stretch their legs and enjoy themselves. I think you decided a week you were going to stay.
That was my suggestion as the ship's
counselor,
psychiatrist. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, they're going to stretch their legs. The New Home has the benefit of being the most highest tech level in the island subsectors, and it is also fairly neutral in that it is known as not really taking any sides in any of the numerous conflicts across the island subsectors. But it also, I mean, that's not entirely true. I mean, they don't take any sides, but they make a lot of money selling weapons and facilitating weapons deals to everybody. So they're on their own side is what that is. But before we get started, we would like to thank a friend of the Greenwater Guildhall. None of these are sponsorships or partnerships of any kind. They're just products that we really like. And tonight we would like to thank Fable Beard Company. They make beard balms, oils, butters, co-wash, beard wash. They have their own line of deodorants. I think they've got some spray-on colognes. And all of their scents are different fantasy characters. I'm wearing a holiday scent tonight called the Caroler, which smells of a fig pudding. It's like a spiced fig kind of scent. It actually smells really good, which is one of the reasons why I keep wearing it, even though the holidays are already done with. But I'm sure that they have a scent that you would like. If you're a first-time purchaser, they do have a buy one, get one free option. Go to fablebeardco.com and create an account. You can put 2 beard oils into your cart, and that second one will be discounted to free if you use the code FIRST in all capital letters. If you're a fan of our Traveler games, we do have, each of our campaigns has a website, and that is listed down below in the description via Obsidian Portal. And the adventure log is written in the manner of news service articles, detailing everything that's going on. So it can be a little bit meta, and it may not exactly follow the storyline, simply because it is news from all the other locations all around them. If you read that and you like the content, please go to the front page and give us a thumbs up. We do like to see the fan likes, and we hope you enjoy. And if you are, as we were talking earlier about D&D games and a little bit of the old school games, if you are a fan of Old School Essentials, I do have a new campaign setting product line out, a number of adventures. I'm hoping to get the new one out here fairly soon, but it's called Brawnhaven Campaign Setting. You can find that on Drive-Thru RPG just by searching for Brawnhaven. Definitely check it out. I hope you enjoy that as well. Hey, and if you do purchase it, somebody give me a product review. A lot of people have bought it and nobody's done a review yet. So please give a product review. So where we left off, you guys were coming in for a landing. I don't know if Gabe's actually with us or if he just never logged out, which is a possibility.
I'm here.
Oh, there you are. So
Sorry.
no problem.
I had to take a potty break during the recap thing.
No worries, no worries. Okay. So as you're coming in, you are given clearance to land at the starport, as it were, and there it is. So the starport is down here, right on this edge, and you get clearance to come in and land, and they tell you that you're clear to dock. Go ahead, Jack, make a piloting spacecraft plus dex check to see how well you bring this boat in. Fat Trader's got to be like a bathtub on roller skates. Hey, that's pretty damn good. Okay. So, Jack brings in Perfect Stranger. I almost said the Betty because I'm getting these two campaigns mixed up. Brings in Perfect Stranger just fine and sets her down at the New Home starport. So New Home is, I guess, more or less could be classified as a garden world. Let me double. Oops, that's the wrong window. Let me double check one thing here. So yeah, it's a really nice place, and yeah, you're docked and you step out. Of course, the first place you need to go is through the gates into customs. And on here, what does it say? It says
Law level 7.
Yep. Law level 7. So that's pretty much going to mean that you're not going to be carrying around a whole lot of weapons. Law level. Government. Here we go. Law levels. So 7. Wow. You could carry around stunners and bladed weapons. Anything better than anything mesh and better is banned. So you could wear cloth, or no, I'm sorry. Mesh, cloth, flak, combat armor, and battle dress are all banned.
But the tech level's decent here, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yes, tech level
13?
is tech level 13.
So we can do some shopping and maybe pick up some clothing that's a little more protective but legal. Diplo thing.
Yeah, Diplo vest, things like that.
Yeah.
Hey JT, I gotta know. I ate a pizza tonight. It was a Hawaiian pizza. In Canada, is Canadian bacon just called bacon?
No, it's ham.
It's ham. Okay, yeah.
Or back bacon.
Back bacon.
You put pineapple on your pizza?
Oh, hell yeah.
It was
I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to leave this game up.
you do. That was actually invented in Canada.
Yes, it was.
The Hawaiian pizza is a Canadian product.
Well,
We drink a lot, so I'm just putting that out there.
There's nothing wrong with a little liquid celebration.
Yeah. Back bacon. That's what that's called. If you watch the Doug and Bob McKenzie, they used to always refer to back bacon.
the back bacon.
Can while we're talking about shopping or everything, is there any way that we could use some of our ship? I'm basically talking to the crew. While we're here to go shopping, I want to use the ship funds or a good portion of the ship funds to buy shit like medical stuff, like little packs to bring you back if you fall out when you get hit in the face with something, things like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is that,
I mean,
like maybe if just for time purposes, if you just want to set aside me $50K and I'll spend it on medical supplies and return the change, maybe. And
Sure.
then I could just
sounds
do
good.
that
That's a
during the
good
week.
idea. I hate shopping.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to eat up our time game with, talking about, I want to buy some aspirin. But
Well, yeah. I've got 18 tons of wood to unload.
yes.
we got wood.
So
There you go.
So
Somebody out there wants your wood.
So you've got a couple of things here that need to be done. The first is, of course, you need you need to register when you get in, and then you're going to want to clear any porters that are going to come and unload your cargo, and you're going to have to pay docking fees and refueling costs, things of that matter. And so
Can we pay for unrefined fuel and refine it? I don't know if that's an option.
yeah, I mean, you could do that.
Save some cash.
So you get up, and so were you going to pay cash, or are you going to use your line of credit?
Let's use the line of credit for the docking fees and fuel if we can.
So you get up, and you're talking to the guy. You hand him your folder with paperwork, and he's going through and he's stamping stuff, and he does some stuff on his computer. He says, well, it seems that your expense account has been declined as invalid.
Okay. Well, I guess we will have to pay it some other way. And I'll pay out of whatever cash we've got left in the other options.
So as you
I have 9,000 credits to my name.
Right.
That's pretty much it.
But I mean, we have
something?
quite a bit of party funds.
yeah, I mean the ship has
The 10,000 a week stipend is not.
yeah, you got 74,000 in the stipend, and there's 197,228 credits in cash in plaques.
Right. So I guess we'll have to pay it in cash.
So as you try to pay it in cash, he continues and says that according to the account, they cannot allow you to refuel, and he goes on.
Fucking knew we shouldn't come here.
He goes on to say that the ship Perfect Stranger is currently presented with a grounding order. And he prints out the paperwork on a flimsy and hands it to you, and it is anybody who wants to look it over that has Advocate can certainly make an Advocate plus intellect or education check.
Yep, I knew we shouldn't come here.
Yeah, I could just see, sir. I said we shouldn't come here. I told you guys we shouldn't come here.
It's all gonna be okay, man.
I don't have Advocate.
Anybody else have Advocate?
Oh no, that's not my dig.
George?
No. I have absolutely zero administrative skills whatsoever. No admin, no advocate. All
Well, I mean, it's got
Trying
somebody to
people
talk
out.
to about it, right?
What about? I doubt Jack's got it. But what about Jack?
No,
Okay.
I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Sometimes those Marine types end up with some weird oddball paperwork type of skill.
The best thing I could think is maybe try to persuade this guy handing the paper to explain it to our dumbasses.
Well, looking it over, it does appear to be legitimate. It has been issued by the Port Authority of New Home, and requires Perfect Stranger to undergo a full spaceworthiness inspection. It will. The ship will not be permitted to take off until the inspection is complete, and that's pretty much the whole of the paperwork that has been handed to you. There's no as anybody who's looked over these kinds of legal documents, there's no reason given that this was issued. Not in the paperwork.
Right, because our ship wasn't here, so how would they even know that we might not be space worthy? I mean, obviously we're being fucked by somebody.
Well, I mean, I think this is shit that the last crew members that we've not known anything. I think this is shit they've done and got us into stuff. I mean, it's the ship. It's not us, right?
Or it's the people that have been causing problems for us who are part of a powerful government agency. Right.
Well,
as you guys are talking amongst yourselves, the clerk says, I mean, if you would like to contest this, you can, of course, talk to the Port Authority commander, and they can explain it better to you. I don't. He goes, I just work here, man.
Hey, I'm willing to go talk to the commander. Hell yeah. I mean, I think we all do, right?
Yes.
Why don't we all go down as a group and talk to the commander?
Okay.
I'm taking my hatchet with me. That's
hey, it's a bladed weapon, right?
It's a
are we able to sell the cargo that we have?
That you can offload the cargo. They as the cargo is offloaded, though, they will want to go over the cargo, full inspection.
Sure.
I mean,
there might be boll weevils.
Right. I mean, you can't pull one over on us at New Home. And so he says, yeah, and he says, and he points down the hall. He says the trade market windows are down there. You can go ahead and contact them, and they will, whatever your price is that you agree on, they will then send out porters, and as the cargo is offloaded, we'll inspect it as it's coming off.
Perfect.
So you guys, I need. Oh, that's right. What was the agreed amount, or that we knew? Oh, wait.
There's 18 tons, right?
Right.
Wood. I still need to make a roll on the sell price.
Yeah, go ahead and make a roll for that.
All right. So this is a Class A port, right? So that's a +6.
Is it a Class A port? Let me see. Indeed it is.
Okay, and so there's a broker roll.
Yeah, broker plus intellect or education.
They're all the same for me. +0.
Wow.
15, that's 110% of sale price.
Okay.
And lumber was cheap, if I recall. It's like 5,000.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, but you get market price. That's based on a 1K per ton. Is that? I mean, it's not based on how low you bought it. It's based on the going base price.
Right. The going base price for lumber is low. It's like 5,000, if I recall. I'm pulling it up.
Oh,
because
okay.
I'm getting 110% of that base price. It's just we didn't buy a high dollar item. I wasn't trying to make. I honestly wasn't trying to make a lot of profit here.
Just trying to give us a legitimate cargo.
Yeah, I was trying to basically make it look like we actually were a trader.
Hey, the one-liners I pulled off based on your cargo was worth it enough to me.
So let's let's see here.
I want you to buy about 10 tons of cock rings and put them in and see how that goes.
I think that's a luxury good. If
Yes,
I
that'd
recall.
be a luxury.
Oh, it's got to be a luxury, damn right. Oh, you could get them custom. I wonder if we could get them manufactured here relatively cheap.
With TL13, you can do all sorts of stuff with them too.
That's what I'm talking about. We get a 3D printer and some, we get it in that'd be stuff to do in jump spaces. Make specialized cock rings. We could sell them across the entire sector.
It was in Skype. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but Traveler Tools 2 is not working. It's got a bug or something going on. Would. So it was 1,000. It was 1,000 credits. So I'm selling them at 1,100 basically. And
so 1,100 times 18 that's 1,100 per ton? No.
Yeah, per ton.
Per ton.
1,100 per ton. So what's that?
So 19,800.
19,200. 300. Yeah.
Okay. So that puts...
and I'll start making some inquiries as to what will sell well in New Bern.
So that...
Hey, go ahead and get the refueling going if you want to.
Yeah.
Because if we fuck
we
around and
can't
get a
take
chance
off,
to...
but we can refuel.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to talk to the commander before they'll agree to refuel the ship. Because you're under a grounding order.
To that. All
but,
right.
But, yeah,
we technically have enough fuel to jump to Sturgeon's Law still.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
We only jumped 3 weeks worth. We were full, so we hypothetically could jump to Sturgeon's Law or Schlesien Belt or Coaches.
But with
yeah.
a grounding order attempting to take off.
Exactly. I'm just saying that
Yeah.
if something happens and we have to leave without fueling, we technically have fuel.
Hey, we might not be the droids they're looking for.
Possibly.
I'm pretty sure we're the droids they're looking for.
Oh, well, let's just see how the meeting goes, because I'm going to sure do the we're not the droids you're looking for move.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so in the process of selling that stuff, I'm just basically going to, try to, pump the guy for information as to what might sell well in New Bern.
So the New Bern is tech level 12. It also has a Class A starport, law level of 9.
Right.
And all the information that you have on New Bern is that it is... Now, of course, the TAS is fairly sparse in the island subsectors, but it is classified as an amber alert world. So almost anything could sell well at New Bern, but
It's shady.
Yeah, what you are told about New Bern... God, did they even...
Well, the big thing I see is that we're coming from a more agricultural world, and so probably, whereas New Bern looks like it's a high tech world, so probably like food and luxury goods, that type of stuff probably is going to be.
Yeah, so New Bern, luxury goods will sell well there. With a law level of 9. I mean, some luxury items that are completely legal everywhere else may be illegal on New Bern. So
sure,
it's. I mean,
but like
fucking everything's illegal on New Bern.
Food might be a good idea.
All the information that you're getting on
live animals,
things like that. All the other information that you're getting on New Bern is that it seems to be a very very locked down society, government wise, kind of a despotic communist kind of regime is running New Bern.
Yep,
so,
that's where we want to go.
So pretty much everything's going to be illegal. So.
All right. Well, I'm just making inquiries for now, and then let's head to the find out why we've been locked down.
Meeting.
The meeting. So you make your way to the commander's Port Authority commander's office, and after about a 20-minute or so wait, in the waiting room, and for really no other reason other than from what you can see, just to make you wait. You're led into the office, and the commander says, "Oh, okay. So here, let me see that paperwork." He doesn't know what's going on. I mean, you know. And so you give him the paperwork, and he types in the ID number on the paperwork, and he says, "Oh, yeah, huh, yeah." And he looks you guys over. He goes, "Well, it's hard to tell with these types, but we got an anonymous tip that Perfect Stranger is known to be carrying contraband and might even be involved in piracy in the region."
We just offloaded 18 tons of wood. It filled our entire cargo hold. The rest of our cargo hold is dedicated to fuel because a ship like this normally can't jump more than one sector. So if you want to inspect the wood that we just sold, you're welcome to. It would be our contraband. We've just sold it, so it's no longer on the ship. We now have an empty cargo hold. We have just recently been asked to take possession of the ship. The previous people that were in charge of flying it were all murdered in Acadie. The corporation sent us to reclaim this ship. We are attempting to get it to Imperium space as quickly as possible and out of the islands cluster. We have no reason to do anything here other than to refuel our ship, load some supplies, and get the hell out.
We want to party a little bit too. I'm just, for a couple days, we'd like to enjoy the nightlife.
He says, "Well, yeah, I can. I mean, everything that you're telling me, I mean, that sounds all on the up and up. I mean, we've got, a report on this side, and then your report on this side, and now I'm stuck in the middle, and I have to decide or figure out which one of these is truthful."
I heard that it was grounded for being not space worthy.
Well, that is part of the inspection, but I mean, once we do that, and I'm not going to piss in your ear and tell you that it's raining. He goes, part of the spaceworthiness inspection is they're going to go through and poke and prod and make sure that you're not carrying contraband, and that's just the nature of this type of thing. It's completely policy. All of you can make a. I know there's that's the wrong one. I know there's a roll for this.
Ship.
Advocate.
It's not. That's not the one I'm looking for.
No, I'm joking. The fact that none of us have that.
Right? Yeah. Yes. There's always that one skill that is highly needed that isn't there. I will allow anybody who wants to can make a deception plus intellect check to see how you feel about what this guy. Basically, it's for you to see how you feel about what this guy's telling you.
Sure. Let me.
I'm good. 14.
Ooh.
I rolled an 11.
5. I rolled an 8.
So George, you kind of you listen to what this guy's telling you, and it sounds to you like even if this information that he got isn't true, he and all of his personnel are acting in good faith. They are doing their job, even if they're acting on bad information.
Somebody just screwed us over. And I do want to suspect that somebody in his staff might be one of the ones that screwed us over. So if they want to send it,
he got an anonymous tip. He told us he got an anonymous tip.
I want to be with that inspection team and watch them very closely that they don't try to plant anything. I'll videotape the entire thing.
Right. He told us he got an anonymous tip, so it's
Yeah.
not like, I mean,
So, what kind of time frame is he talking about that he would like to? Will it take to get the inspection and all that underway? Is he in charge of overseeing all this and the deciding factor of how this works out, or is he just a simple cog in the wheel?
Well, the way this will generally work is that he'll send in his inspection team, and it's usually 3 or 4 guys. They'll go through your ship. You're perfectly welcome to be there. I mean, it is your property, and they'll go over the ship and make sure that everything that they're seeing is on the up and up. They'll then report to him. Then, of course, he has to fill out that paperwork, probably in triplicate. It has to then go up the line, and 3 or 4 days. And assuming that the inspection all works out, and this will go up, and you guys, the grounding order will be lifted, and you guys can get on your way. He goes, I'm really sorry about this. If this information is wrong, then you have my deepest apologies for taking up your time.
I think I'd like to make a suggestion to him using my psionics.
Okay.
It's a rather difficult check that I'm pulling right now.
Out of character, do we know that we have anything that we have to worry about? Obviously, there was that secret area,
right,
with its own separate power supply, but the computer core is gone. But I mean, was that illegal? Is there anything else that we have to worry about that we know of?
Well,
that might cause problems.
So. Yeah. So bringing you over to your ship, yes, there is. You don't want them to see the systems room, which is your spy cave. The other thing that you may not want them to see is the fact that you have 2 hidden pop-up turrets that each have triple lasers.
Big deal.
Well, I mean. Could be, but if part of
the ship's been accused of being a pirate,
right?
And it doesn't have any guns. It's really hard to argue that it's a pirate ship. But if it's got hidden guns, then it could hypothetically be a pirate ship,
right?
Well, any way it goes, I didn't get enough to suggest, and I'll lose a side point for trying.
Okay.
I needed to get a 12, but if I got a 12, I would have been able to give him a suggestion or a command, and he would basically, anything short of suicide, he would have had to kind of comply.
Right.
But yeah.
So
that's.
He tells you that he can go ahead and because this is obviously, an important situation. You guys are in a hurry. Representatives of the Imperium, we don't want to hold you up any longer than possible. I can have my inspection team over there in the next couple of hours. And, like I said, if you want to be there, that's fine.
Well, sure. Yeah, I think we should be there. We now know that we have stuff to actually hide. So, yes, we kind of need to be there.
Yeah, I'm going to check with, I'm going to use my recon skill, any kind of video equipment that we have. I want to make sure that we record things, make sure that we're on the up and up, so we have our own proof, and make sure they don't try to plant us anything. I don't want.
It sounds like they don't need to, because we have illegal shit.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the systems room isn't necessarily illegal, but it's also not something that you really want anybody to know about. I mean, it would verify that this ship has been going around collecting information. Well, I mean, I don't know, because you don't have the data cores, so it would be nearly impossible for them to say, oh, well, there's a systems room, that means you're spies, because
we don't have the data.
You don't have the data cores to prove that you're spies. But it is a damn peculiar room. I mean.
And we can provide the access logs that show that we took possession of this ship 6 weeks ago, right?
Yes, and that's all part of your paperwork when you showed up in customs. That's part of the
Jesus, I wish I'd taken one skill. I wanted to roll one admin skill.
Well, I mean, I'm sure we'll get some experience, or we'll be rolling new characters in the near future.
So really, the systems room is uncomfortable, But really, the big thing, and since part of this anonymous tip is that the ship was engaged in piracy, those 2 pop-up turrets are damning.
Right. So I'll say, look, is there any way we could just get through this? I mean, we got proof that we have taken possession of the ship like 4 weeks ago. It took 3 weeks to get here. We have not been engaged in any piracy whatsoever. There is nothing in cargo or anything else that we have that is going to be problematic. We just need to get this ship to Imperium space and out of your space. I mean, it just seems, if there's any way we can speed this up, I don't know.
Like he said, he's going to send over his inspection team. They'll go over the ship. Now, I will allow everybody. You can make a.
I mean, even if the ship was engaged in piracy, we were clearly not those pirates, and so we've now taken control of the ship. So how does that have anything to do with anything?
How about we just pause everything right now and you put a hold on your inspection team and allow us to go hire an attorney to sort through all this. Surely we have rights for representation.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Because regardless of what you think this ship may or may not have been involved in, we were not involved in any of that. We're not pirates. We've had possession of the ship for a month, and we just want to take it to the owners of the ship. That is all we need to do. We've been hired to bring it home, get it out of the islands.
Well, of course, if you want to seek legal representation before the inspection, that is, of course, your right.
Well, thank you. Just, forgive us that we're not necessarily sure that we know your laws and your customs here. We're new to the area, obviously.
They do one of their forms of entertainment is juggling baby geese. But,
yeah.
I'm
just,
why?
We'd like to hire an attorney.
Geese are assholes.
And, maybe take if as a player, I'm saying, that when we trigger this, it might get events to where, okay, we can go, but we got to go now. And for our mental sanity and everything else, I'd really like to take a moment to use the ports.
I'm worried that our ship gets confiscated. That's what I'm really worried about.
Well, either it gets confiscated or not, but that still won't change the fact that that's all going to come into a head, when the inspection comes on. And so if we could pause that and maybe, get our day in court and get out of it that way, even if it takes a day or two, we'll be rested more when we get on the ship and get the fuck out, and we'll have a chance to actually buy the stuff here on the planet.
That's not
maybe see a couple prostitutes.
That's not the worst idea that I mean, the prostitutes, yes, but that's not the worst idea that I've ever heard of. Is getting a lawyer.
Yeah,
having dealt with what I've dealt with for the past couple of weeks, talking to attorneys was probably one of the better decisions I've made. So,
and I will mention that I am probably the best doctor in this system, and so you personally, if you have anything you need to take care of, I'm more than willing to lend you my medical expertise. I'm also versed in cybernetics.
Sounds like a bribe. No bribes.
Why not?
Well, I mean, right?
I think
Why
a
not?
bribe is our best bet.
Yeah, bribes in a bureaucracy are your fastest way, usually, as long as you don't make it too overt, are your fastest way. Greasing bombs is your fastest way of getting through things, other than having an attorney.
Yeah, I'll throw out the medical card, be like, I am a badass doctor, and, if you need a prostate exam, that's where I shine.
As he pulls up his webbed flipper hands.
Yeah.
Bribery is on age 18. It's no longer a skill in Traveler 2nd Edition by Mongoose. It's actually in the very original rules.
Oh, hell yeah. We've got the cop that's going to show us the way to get by.
Yeah, I don't have an admin skill, but I have all the books. So...
Hey,
Well,
lawyers
I've got
gets-
admin. It's advocate. We don't have.
Well, admin gets you through the paperwork and the red tape, and I think
Right.
that they use admin for bribing now. Advocates just kind of like, if you have to go through any sort of legal issue, that's when
Are you
advocates
talking
comes
about
in.
the
Or
original core rule book or the updated rules?
I think that's what the updated rules. I
You're
mean, they
on-
don't have an.
You're in update 2022.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the
It's the
bribery
persuade.
skill.
The persuade
that-
skill covers it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
persuade would. Yeah.
Well, I can persuade.
So I mean, and depending on how much you want to offer, or if you're just offering your medical expertise.
Well, I mean, let's see what. No point on shotgunning the guy. We want a steady stream of trying to find what works. That's what I think. Unless one of y'all, I've got persuasion 1. I can sure as hell try to talk him into, some money to get us out of this. But maybe seeing if he needs medical favors.
I would recommend if we're going to bribe anyone, we bribe the inspectors.
Right.
Because we don't know if this guy's got cameras in his office recording everything we're saying. We don't know if he's going to turn us over. But the inspectors would be on our turf in the ship, and we'd have a better opportunity. Those people are probably more bribable.
Yeah, the commander has made it to the rank of commander, and generally those kinds of people don't climb to that level unless they have a bit of zealotry to them. So it may not get you as far trying to bribe him as it would trying to bribe the cogs in the wheel that are going to be sent to just do their job. I agree.
And we've got the advantage we have is that we have a lot of just cash, which is pretty good for bribery.
Yeah, cash is really good for bribery.
Lack of a paper trail.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, do we want to go try and holler at an attorney real quick and see if we can find
I think we should hire the
that-
attorney first, and then
go from there? All right. Well, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we'd like to go the chance to go hire an attorney to cover our bases and make sure everything's done legally on.
How would you like to go about searching for an attorney? Do you want to open up the local data net and search the white pages, or would you rather you could also go to the local spaceport bar and use Streetwise and ask around if anybody knows of any legal experts.
I think we should try both ways. I think we should try, maybe, I'm not saying, I always never want to split the party, but in Traveler, it sometimes work. I mean, I've got a pretty good Streetwise skill. Someone can check out the directory and then kind of meet up and see if any one of those names actually comes up twice, right?
That's not a bad plan. So, who wants to go with George to the local spaceport bar?
Oh, I want to go to the bar.
Actually, I'm going to stop, and as we're leaving, is there like a receptionist or secretary?
Yes.
This is customs area, right?
Correct.
So I'm just going to talk to the secretary, and I'm just going to say, hey, in the past, I'm assuming different lawyers have had to come in here and represent their clients. Can you tell me which ones the folks that work here hate to talk to the most?
Oh, smart, Serta.
Good. Make a persuade check, and you can make that with a boon. So roll 3, take the 2 highest.
Because secretaries don't give a fuck.
They're lucky
and they're
if
the
making
hub of
minimum
every
wage.
organization.
Boon.
Talk about a cog in the wheel. The worst part about being a secretary is that they know they're a cog in the wheel. They're told that daily.
Well, being that I suck at all skills, that would be a 6.
So she says, "Oh well, they're pretty much all hated directly, equally across the board." She writes down like 3 different guys. She says these are the 3 that are most commonly found in here.
I'd like to kind of poke at her too. I mean, like, how about this? How about you tell me who, if you had problems with, you would hire to represent you, and I'll take you out to the bar tonight, and we will party down.
I don't know. This seems fishy. Go ahead, make a persuade plus charm check. Sounds like you're trying to be charming.
I am trying to be charming and persuasive, and I'll get a +2 in this role. So, I am a medical professional, so I'm clean.
Boxcars.
Blam! 14.
So she gets a big smile on her face, and she says, "I'm not usually noticed by off-worlders." She says, and I can tell you're not from around here.
No, I'm not at all.
No, he's not even close, right?
Yeah.
She says, I would love to go out for a drink with you. So she says, she writes down a new name, and she says, I would hire this guy if I really needed, some help with something.
Yeah.
And she folds it up and she hands it to Bocephus. And
you just earned yourself a free checkup, ma'am.
She folds it up and she hands it to Bocephus. She goes, I'm off at 5.
I will meet you at what's a nice happening place to go, maybe some loud lights and music to get some colorful outfits and have a good time.
So she says that there is a location, as a matter of fact. There it is.
There we go. Everybody likes foreigners, and nothing's more foreign than a dolphin, dude.
That, my friend, is not a lie. Going portside.
Get me a high collar jacket.
She tells you that there is a Planetfall bar and grill that she really likes.
That sounds smashing.
And it's in the spaceport, so it's not very far from here. She says I can meet you there probably about 5:30.
Sure, give you plenty of time to do whatever you need to do between here and there, and we'll go swimming.
She says, I just love your accent.
Oh, thank you.
So
yours is so human.
You sound like all the other ones.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, racist. So Bocephus, you guys kind of step out of the office, and you've got these 4 numbers, and the one that she gave Bocephus, according to her, is a really good attorney that she would pick in order to represent her if she were in this kind of situation.
Yeah.
All right. Let's contact them. Let's go try to talk to that attorney's office.
So
I'm totally cool with that.
You dial
hell yeah.
You dial this attorney up, and when the call connects, you get this it is a computer that answers the phone, of course, and tells you to wait on the line. Your call will be answered shortly. Estimated wait time is like 8 minutes. They apologize. There's a long call volume right now. And as the terrible hold music is playing, the hold music is interrupted by an ad, and the ad is for this attorney, and basically saying, are you in need of legal representation? Well, you've called the right number. Such and such law offices of Anderson and Cooper law offices are here to help you. And you hear these 2 cheesy sounding guys in stereo say, we're here to help you. And then it says, as seen on the afternoon talk show, and there's some local talk show in town. This guy's a celebrity lawyer.
Well, that's great because I really want like the Joe Pesci of lawyers to represent us because that's going to be the most annoying thing. Anything to get rid of them.
He's basically the Dr. Oz of attorneys.
Oh, God.
Yeah, let's make this newsworthy.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll answer his phone, though. I mean, he's got a secretary or something. Oh, pick her up, Sarda.
Pick what? What?
The secretary of the lawyer's office. We'll just have a big old party.
We can double date.
Yeah, man. You gotta get you a date to the shindig tonight.
So after about 8 minutes or so, a secretary answers the phone, and she says, "Hello, Anderson and Cooper Law Offices. How can I direct your call?"
We're hoping to retain your law firm. We need assistance at customs to get our ship approved for disembark.
Okay, I will go ahead and direct you to Mr. Anderson's office. He deals with all sorts of import-export law.
Perfect.
And so you're on hold again for like another 2 minutes, and you hear the ad again, and then you are transferred, and this guy answers the phone and says, "So, my secretary tells me that you are in need of some legal assistance at the Starport Customs desk. Is that correct?"
That's correct.
He says, "Were you given any paperwork?"
I'll tell him whatever paperwork we were given. I'll let him know what we were told.
It basically is like, it's almost like you're looking at a cross between a speeding ticket and an arrest warrant. It's essentially a bunch of gobbledygook, but it's your name, your ship's name, the ship's serial number, etc., and stamped with grounding order, and it says under action it says pending complete inspection. And then he says, "Have you talked to anybody at the spaceport?"
We have. Originally we were told that it was a spaceworthiness inspection, and so we went to discuss the spaceworthiness inspection, and that's when we were then told that someone anonymously called and informed them that our ship had been previously engaged in piracy, and so that they needed to do an inspection to look for contraband. We have documented proof that the crew of this ship has taken command of it 4 weeks ago on the planet Acadie, where the previous crew were all murdered. They are all dead. We were hired by the corporation that owns the ship to return it to Imperium space. So I'm uncertain what they may have been up to, but we need this ship off this planet and back to Imperium space.
Says, "Wow, okay." He says, "Well, this would have gone easier probably if you hadn't talked to them, but that's really neither here nor there. Don't talk to anybody else."
Certainly. Says, like I say, we didn't. When we heard it was a spaceworthiness inspection, we didn't figure that it was a legal issue.
He said, "Yeah, that's usually how they get you." He says, "Okay." So he says, "Come to my office. I'll go over the paperwork with a fine-tooth comb and file a motion, and we'll see how we can get around this." He says, "Now, I do charge a fee of, usually my fee is 2,000 credits per hour, but he says it sounds like I don't know. I don't foresee that filing this motion is going to really take a whole lot of time, so we could go ahead and make this a flat fee case. I'm estimating this will probably cost about 15,000 credits worth of legal work."
Sounds good.
Okay. Really? And so he gives you a time to meet at the office, say like 2:30 p.m. It's all actually fairly early in the world right now, and so I mean, you haven't been here that long. You've been here just long enough to get screwed. So, you know.
We just arrived and we're already screwed.
I know. I can't wait till we
I
come up with
told you
Frosty.
this would happen.
Yes. So once again, I can see it started being like, I told you guys we shouldn't have come here.
Yeah,
I knew it too. I agreed with him. I think this.
I mean, that's why I liked what was it? What was the other place? Sturgeon's Law. I'm like, it was like a backwoods, nothing. We'd land, we'd refuel, we'd get the hell out.
Just stay away from the moss.
Yeah. Well,
I knew
appreciate
that
y'all.
any big population means bureaucracy, and that is and likely if those agents were after us on Acadie, there are probably agents here that can cause just as many problems. So
But we need to get dressed up so that way whenever we find these agents or they find us, that we're in our best. We're the best but dressed men around.
So you have a couple of hours before going and meeting with the attorney. I mean, you can go shopping. You can go drinking.
I definitely want to go shopping.
Yeah, I want to go buy an outfit.
I mean, honestly, you guys might be bored with drinking. I mean, you've spent 3 weeks with an auto bar, and you know. So, I don't know.
Yeah, you know, the only thing I'm really probably going to get is I need a new trench coat, so I want like a dark brown duster style.
I mean, just
that's it. I'll
Oh.
go shopping for myself. It's okay. Like
Diplo vest is what I'm after.
So let's see. Diplivest, there it is. So,
is that within the law level? Is that cool? They like that?
so both of these are available, and so around the starport you find a basically it's like you don't see these anymore, mostly because well I don't see them. I haven't been to a mall in a million years. But I don't know if you guys remember in the early 90s, there were all these shops in all of the malls, you know, the spy stores. You know, that back when a drone was like, ooh, a drone, or ooh, a mini camera. That is basically one of these stores. It's for the security-minded enthusiast, more or less.
Awesome.
Most of this stuff that you're finding is... Jack is like rolling his eyes. Like he has to keep hitting the side of his head or else he'll go blind. But you do find that they do have a cloth trench coat. It is cloth armor, TL10, for 500 credits. And that offers +6 protection.
oh, with the trench coat, really?
Yeah, it is a cloth trench. They also have a Diplo vest for 250 credits that offers +3 protection.
No, I just want like a basic, like a nice, like a duster style trench coat. You know, it's not so much for the protection; it's all about the look, right?
Well, this does have the definite look and style. It is on page 13 of Central Supply Catalog Update 2023.
But it's out of the technical level of our. I mean, it's out of our law level, right? I mean, we really can't. The cloth.
The store is selling them, and they're saying that they're legal. So.
Okay. Hell yeah, that's +6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's +6.
That's nice. Do they have anything that might be a little bit more stylish on something I would want in the trench coat type setup? Maybe look, I'm thinking something blue with little white clouds, like a baby blue with little white clouds just kind of scattered all about it.
They have one that is a hideous blue and gray camo pattern, and that's as close as they get.
Oh.
It says juicy on the back.
No, I don't want that. Now.
Should we get a custom blowhole added to
that?
Yes.
Well, do they have any? I've got regular cloth armor. I guess
which is illegal.
Which is illegal, yeah. But
yeah, regular cloth armor is going to be illegal, but cloth armor that looks like regular clothing isn't. And it's To give you an example, here's a real life example going on in the United States right now. You can take two rifles. One has all the scary attachments to it, and they say, well, that's an assault rifle. And you look at the one right next to you, and you're like, but that's the same rifle. It's just geared for hunting. But the scary one is going to be banned because it's classified as an assault weapon. That's the difference. So if you put on regular cloth armor, everybody can look at you and say, hey, that dude's armored up. But if you put on a cloth jacket that is weaved with the cloth into it and it looks like a regular jacket, that's not really that big of a deal.
The Diplo vest goes under your clothes.
Right.
So it's not even noticeable. And
Right.
It's three armor.
Yeah,
and it's legal.
Do they even have...
Yeah, I'm going for the duster.
Yeah. They have a picture of the Diplo vest. Yeah, it just fits under your clothes.
All right, I'll
snap. It says metalhead on it.
But they stack. I mean, you can get the diplomat and then throw that cloth trench coat on and be +9 running around, right?
Yeah, but then you look like you're a freaking jackass running around with a giant duster. I mean, look like a freaking convention kid.
Yes. It was just, yeah, and then you're going to have to dye your hair black.
You're going to have people trying to bum clove cigarettes off you the whole time.
Yeah, right.
I do. I want to buy a Diplo vest too.
Okay. So yeah, Diplo vest is TL10 and is +3 protection for 250 credits.
Yeah.
Protect suits might not be bad if they're legal. I don't know if they're legal in this law level.
Protect suit.
Because that looks like business.
Yeah,
it looks like business clothing. However, it is still obviously armor.
Yeah, and it's +4 at 500 credits.
Yeah, it's a slim fitting business suit, but it is noticeably armor.
Where the armor comes in is the leather patches on the elbows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Okay. So you guys, anything else that you wanted to shop for on the concourse while you're?
More entertainment database. Another entertainment database of when we're jumping, we're going to be in flight for a while.
Yeah.
And so
that is true.
This planet's best TV shows.
Yeah, I would say that for 500 credits, you could get 5 weeks worth of programming.
Perfect.
I'd like to get me a snazzy jumpsuit then, with a tall collar that I can stand up. I can stand up and wear. I've got a date tonight, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we'll say that that would be another 150 credits. I mean, if you're going to go, Saturday Night Fever.
Damn right I am. Yeah.
Stay alive.
Yeah. Gonna have a good time.
Jack, is there anything that you were interested in purchasing?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. So,
are they perhaps interested in buying some robotic toy collectibles?
That's right.
I don't think there's going to be any available retail in the island subsector. If there are any in the island subsector, I'm sure if you want to spend some time on the local data net, you could probably find somebody or a group that trades them back and forth. But they're far enough out here that they don't get, some of the regular stuff. I mean, it's even harder to get stuff like that out here than it would be in the Trojan
I'm trying
Reach.
to sell.
Oh, you want to sell?
Yeah, I've got 7 of them.
Oh, yeah. Make a Streetwise plus intellect or education check.
All right. This would be a +1.
Oh,
7.
If we're in this cheesy store that sells secret agent gadgets. I'm going to see if they have bug sweepers.
They do.
I'd like to buy the deluxe if possible. It's tech level 5 plus, so it's not.
Let's see here. What page is that on?
That is page 78. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say they probably have a deluxe. Yeah, they would have a deluxe.
Perfect. So 1,000 credits, or is more or less, or
1,000 credits is about right. I mean, it's 5 plus for tech level.
Yep.
I mean, honestly, anymore you can make a deluxe bug sweeper with a cell phone and a soldering kit, and you probably don't even need the soldering kit anymore. There's an app for that.
Yeah, I just want to go over the ship.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Right. So with a 7,
I think it'll be good.
you do find you find a group online that is these guys are the mega nerds. They're in their 40s and they're still playing with Pokemon cards kind of people, and so they are very interested in your animatronic robots. Where's my?
They don't combine in anything. That might lower the value.
Well, these are authentic Lords of Space, collectible toys, robotic toys.
That's true.
Mint condition. They smell the same as they did yesterday.
So, you could sell those for about 4% above their list price in the book.
Yeah, I think, maybe I can get a better deal somewhere else. But I appreciate their time.
We're heading the Imperium where they're going to be worth less. All right.
But, yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends. Some of them are fairly collectible, and most of them are like a limited run.
And mine are old.
I guess the Imperium, they're at least a known item.
Right, yeah. And here there's fewer people that either know about them or have them to begin with. So
I'll continue to test the waters, and when somebody gives me a price I fucking like, I'll unload all of them, or I'll take these fuckers to the end game.
Take them all the way. Yes, take them all the way to the edge of space, as we know it. So, you finish up your little shopping trip, and then make your way over to the lawyer's office, and it's a fairly nice law office. The entire lobby area is rigged for cameras and there's people milling about. So this guy actually has an afternoon daytime talk show where he does nothing but legal stuff, and they see you in. The whole thing even though it's really nice in here, the whole thing feels rather cheesy. But
it's a celebrity law firm,
right? Yeah. And as you come in the corners, there's little screens that just play the ad on loop over and over and over again. And you come in, and the secretary, really nice looking young woman. She says she wants your guys' information, your name, and your appointment. And she goes back and finds Mr. Anderson and leads you back to his briefing or his little meeting room. And they've got a large, rather expensive-looking table, and the secretary comes back in, pours you each your choice of either water or coffee, and Anderson comes in, and he says, "All right, so let me see this paperwork," and he kind of goes over it, and he says, "So, if I'm going to be your attorney, I need you guys to be forthright so that I'm not blindsided. Were you pirating, or are you pirates at all?"
We are not.
No, you idiot.
No.
No. I mean, it's not an idiotic question. It's exactly the question you need to ask in this particular situation.
He says, I mean, I don't mean any offense, but I need to know, honestly. And were you carrying any contraband? What was your cargo when you arrived at New Home?
18 tons of lumber, which we've already sold and offloaded.
He says, all right. And the port inspected the lumber, I take it?
We've offered them the opportunity. It's been offloaded. If they've inspected it, I have no idea. They're willing. They're more than willing to. Feel free.
He said, I mean,
it's no longer in our possession. It may have been inspected. I don't know.
He says, to my way of thinking, it's likely that they did inspect it, and to my way of thinking is that if they found something, we wouldn't be sitting here having the conversation in this environment.
No, I can tell you right now what they may find that may cause problems. That ship has been outfitted with 2 pop turrets, and so it has the capability of firing on other ships. We have no idea if it has ever fired on another ship. We have currently been in possession of it for 4 weeks. We need to get it to the Imperium. It is what we were hired to do. We are simply transporters. And so when those inspectors go in, if they discover the pop turrets, they could hypothetically argue this ship had the capability of being a pirate ship. To my knowledge, it has never been used as piracy. I can't speak for the prior crew. I have not heard of it being wanted for piracy. If you know of any, if there's a way to look for that, we can find out. Someone has attempted to basically ground us.
And he said, well, I've already gone over all of my legal recourse for any reports of Perfect Stranger or that class of ship. Type R being involved in piracy, he says, in the New Home system, and I have found nothing. He says, now of course, if there was something out of the system, I could pay for a courier. But
that would be weeks.
That would be weeks. They would have to go. The most likely course would be to go all the way back to Acadie and search there. He says, but I don't. I mean, that seems unreasonable. He says, and I don't. There's been no indication of where this report came from. All I was able to get was that it was an anonymous report, and New Home does have laws protecting anonymity. I doubt we'll ever get an identification. So what I propose to do, I will go ahead and file some legal motions. The first one of those is barring the inspection of Perfect Stranger, citing under legal recourse that because this is an anonymous tip, there is no evidence, and I will petition to get the results of the inspection of your cargo that was offloaded, and barring that they didn't find anything, I will petition that the inspection be barred and stopped on the legal grounds that there is no evidence that there should be a requirement or an invasion of your privacy or the privacy of your parent corporation.
Perfect.
Then we will go ahead and I will file a second motion that basically will be predicated on the first motion, stating that because there was no need for an inspection in the first place, that the grounding order should be lifted and you should be allowed to be on your way. My estimation in all of this, and I've got some phone calls to judges to make, we're talking a week.
Okay.
Oh, sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
And so he says, like I said, we talked on the phone. We just decided that this will be a flat fee. You can choose to pay my secretary on your way out, or you can choose to wait until all of this is said and done and pay then. But that's up to you. You don't have to pay ahead of time.
We'll pay your secretary now.
Okay. So as you're...
can I ask you just a question real quick? Since right now, you're you represent me.
Yes,
You know,
certainly.
you know, do you happen to know or have any information that could lead me to psionic groups or clubs? You know, if that's not legal here, you know, I would like to find some of those people for research purposes, of course.
He says, well, I mean,
Well, I mean, I know you deal in customs and stuff, and you know, while you're my attorney, you know, I could really probably do you a solid like you've never had done before if you could point me to people I'm looking for.
so he tells you that he doesn't know of any legitimate groups. Unlike psionics in the island subsector aren't necessarily illegal. He kind of laughs a little bit because most of the people in the island subsectors don't really believe a whole lot into. They don't believe that.
Oh hell yeah!
Um,
That's great.
but that's not to say that those kinds of people that do believe in it don't exist. And he brings up that there is a particular group known as the which one is it? I believe it is the Church of the Mind.
Oh god.
And they are,
Jesus.
It is the Church of the Mind, and he tells you, he says they're usually if you just hang around the starport for any length of time, you'll probably eventually run into these people. Usually they're hitting up people for handouts.
Great.
But they all believe that they are on the path to enlightenment, and that things such as ancients, artifacts are believed to be like, holy sites and things of that nature. He says, I will be real honest. For the most part, from what I've seen, is that their entire church is a pyramid scheme. But
Yeah, well, okay. Then I'm not interested in any of that. I was looking for something that was more along the lines of the real deal.
So it doesn't require you to own a tambourine.
Yeah.
Well, you already own a tambourine. You're in.
In like the yellow dress, handing out flowers.
Right. Yeah.
But I want to try to read his surface thoughts real quick.
Sure.
Oops, push the wrong button here. Gotta do this and see here. I got 1 + 2. There we go. 13.
Okay, so his surface thoughts. He. The immediate surface thought that's coming up is like, oh my god, these guys believe in psionics. What the hell? And then, aside from that, you discover that he actually has quite the legal mind for being a daytime talk show, daytime celebrity attorney. And he is going through, his surface thoughts are basically how he's going to argue these motions to a judge.
Right.
And he sounds quite convincing in your head.
I'm sure he does. He's a celebrity. He can sound convincing on anything.
I will look at him and I will go, well, right now you're thinking, and I will tell him the actual shit that he is, because I'm thinking he'll know, what motion he's talking about, the actual legal terminology and all that. And obviously I would not know those things. Yeah. And because I got, a real good effect on this, I think, I'll probably have that information. I'll just go ahead and tell him what he's thinking and be like, don't think everything is bullshit. Because sometimes reality is stranger than, the lie.
And he at first he gets like a blank look on his face, and then he kind of smiles and he goes, "That's a neat trick." He's like,
I'm full of tricks.
he says, I think that if you are ever on New Home again, I think that we could have a very lucrative, possible career. Perhaps you'd like to be on my show sometime.
Well, maybe we can look about shows or something, but just let me put it to you like this. I will owe you a big favor if you are able to get our ship off planet without an inspection within 1 week's time, without anybody boarding our ship and doing any nefarious things against provided we don't break laws and cause you more problems.
He says, well, actually, it's the other way around. I'm here to get you out of problems if you break laws. But, no, I understand what you're saying. He says, and I will take you up on that. And so,
Yeah. My good friend Bocephus' entire species they're all gifted with such mental powers.
Yeah, and we're well endowed.
So the one thing that you guys have noticed is that nobody that you've met so far on New Home, this would probably be one of the first times that they've seen a member of Bocephus' species. And if there have been his species coming through before, they probably wouldn't have. Very few. Very, very few. And so, but nobody seems,
race speciesist.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah,
xenophobic.
Well, they're not
xenophobic. Yeah, there you go.
Well, they're not xenophobic. They're not shocked by it. They're not surprised in any way. And the only thing that you can really attribute to this is that that because of the island subsector's location, Aslan ships have come through here on occasion. Yep, so
that makes sense.
Because this is the only crossing, right? So
right.
That, but that, so it's not like aliens are completely out of their bailiwick, but nobody seems to be shocked.
The Aslan have their own route across.
Right, they do. But the Herate trade ships would have come through eventually.
Sure.
And so, it's not like they haven't seen aliens before, but they don't seem put off or surprised in any way.
Yeah.
And everybody seems fairly nice. That's the other thing you've noticed. Everybody on New Home seems to be in a fairly good mood.
See, that's the kind of place that's good to unwind.
Right. And so, in your week, as you're waiting for these motions to go through, what are you guys planning on doing?
Seducing the secretary of the port authority.
Okay, so that's actually a good one. So Bocephus, I guess, make a persuade plus charm check.
I'm making lots of rolls. Well, I've had some bad ones though, so I'm good for good, right? Let's see. Charm will give me 1. Persuade will give me 1. This will be +2. Here we go.
Okay.
9.
So throughout the week, Bocephus has regular dates with the secretary.
Yeah.
And
you might want to try to see if she has access to a log of ships that left after we arrived. Because if somebody was going to rat us out, it would be on one of those ships.
That's what I was going to do too, because I have one of my skills is actually investigate. I got some skills that I'm really good at. I was going to do an investigation check to see which ships have left before we got there.
Okay.
And also get a list of anything that looks familiar to what was on Arcady as well.
It'd be the ones that left after we arrived, because those would be the ones leaving to report our presence.
Do we have a
or maybe
guy?
somebody left Arcady before we did, and they still might be here.
Well, if their ship is not our ship had to take 3 weeks to get here. If they had to jump 3 ships, they could make it in 1 week.
Yeah.
If they had multiple ships. The big thing is that they may, if they were smart, months ago, they put in ground orders on our ship in every damn system in the islands.
Yeah,
and they have spies.
They're waiting for that. I'm going to look
there are
for that.
spies waiting for us to
also
dock.
going to look for anybody who might have familiarity as well too.
But the
Do
thing
we
is,
have
like,
a computer guy?
so, like I say, the big thing that they would probably do is every single system has something that prevents us from leaving, and they have people that are waiting for us to show up. And as soon as we show up, they're taking off to go notify their superiors so that they can respawn before we're able to leave the system. And so that the ships that left after we arrived would be the ones that probably are reporting on us.
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to do a full investigate on everything.
Yeah, go ahead and do an investigation check.
I got computers too as well, so I got.
Oh, so you do your badass? Because I'm thinking maybe I can fuck this secretary enough that you can get some access.
There's one, but because I was writing that Gunners program, I had some experience points.
Yeah.
I took one in turret just for the gunner, right, and then I put the other one back into computers because I guess I'm getting good.
Yeah.
I still don't talk to people very well. So is that a intelligence?
Yeah, I would say that would be intellect. Yeah.
Okay, so that is
the real question would be to ask the attorney when the report was filed about our ship, when the tip was actually lodged.
That'll be on the paperwork,
right? Well, it's anonymous, so maybe it won't.
Right. Well, the date would be the interesting part.
Is the secretary lady up for, since we've been really getting along and having a good time, maybe that she would let George have a little moment, or maybe I could get her password from her, and so that way George could access her files or everything.
No, I'm going to do this the legal way first. We have a week, and if we can't find anything the legal way, then we can look at options.
All right. Well, I'm gonna prime the secretary for.
You're both going to get some information here. So what did you get, George?
I got a 10 altogether.
Okay. Jack, what are you doing with your week?
Studying admin.
That's a good idea, actually. So Jack is practicing filling out forms. Serta, what are you doing?
I'm going to check into a nice hotel and basically live fairly hedonistic for a few days. So,
okay. So you find a
eat
I'm
good
trying
food,
to stay with the secretary.
Eat good food, figure out what the
So you find a fairly you've got like, I mean, you say a nice hotel. There's a 3, 4, and 5-star hotel. I don't know how much money you want to spend.
I'd probably go for the 4-star, not the 5-star.
Okay, and they've got a nice restaurant. You're talking 4-star hotel. You're talking 150 credits a night.
It's fine.
200 if you're planning to eat decent home cooked meals there every night. Home cooked restaurant meals.
Yeah, I want to find like food that this planet is renowned for. So
you're
like
talking
that.
200 credits a night staying at this hotel.
I'm trying to stay with the secretary.
That should, with a 9, that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna the ship when I'm not investigating, just to make sure that somebody's there.
Okay.
I'm deducting 1,000 credits for 5 nights, and then I'm going to negotiate purchasing the 18 tons of new cargo.
Okay.
And try to get that loaded, assuming it's not perishable.
Okay, so you can go ahead and work on making the rolls for whatever kind of cargo you want. Like I said, almost everything is going to be luxury goods are going to sell really well on New Bayern, and of course, black market goods. But knowing New Bayern, almost everything is black market. So.
Well, the big thing is we're not going to New Bayern,
right?
But I'm negotiating this as if I was,
right?
And so that's the big thing is that, and so I don't know if you've noticed this, but Traveler Tools 2 is no longer functioning.
Yeah.
I'm going to want to buy some medical supplies, which I guess I'll be doing during this.
Yeah.
I'm using.
So you can look through the catalog and find whatever you want up to tech level 13 that you want to
And
purchase. So with
what about side drugs? Is there any possibility that I find and get some
no,
side? That
no.
sucks.
I mean they just the island subsector has not put any. The government's, as far as you know and the public knows, just hasn't really acknowledged that that psionics are a thing, and because of that, nobody has any psi drugs publicly available.
So I'll have to fuck around and look upon some side people to even have a chance, or develop my own.
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
you one of the pieces of information that you get from dating the secretary, of course, is over the course of the week, she kind of lets you in on a little bit more inside information on what's going on in the office, and she tells you that the the anonymous tip wasn't really all that anonymous, and it came from a trade ship that came from New Bayern.
I will share that with the rest of the party members whenever I see them as I'm jockeying about.
Okay.
But just because she's being so fruitful and everything and degrees the wheels or whatever, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice 1,000 credits that I spend whining and dining her all week. You know?
Okay.
Any idea?
Yeah.
Any idea when it was? Like how long back that was?
So
was it months ago in preparation of the ship moving around, or was it like recently?
No, it was about a week before you came in.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
Does she know of any things that she could do to bypass the inspection? Could she give us the go ahead to clear? You know, little computer razzmatazz secretary action.
She doesn't hold enough clout to really do that. But she can any new information that she gets, she can of course pass on. She'd be willing to pass on to you.
Right? Does she know of anything that I could blackmail the commander with?
As a matter of fact,
see, that's why I'm the ship's counselor.
Dun, dun, dun. So she doesn't know, if it would be of any use to you, but she knows that the commander has been stepping out on his wife, and she knows who this woman is. She's actually fairly high profile, but they make sure to keep the whole thing under wraps. Usually he goes out on his lunch break and meets with this woman at a hotel, and if that were to come out, not only would his wife obviously leave him, but that kind of information with a high profile person being involved, he would probably end up losing his job.
George, I need you to take some pictures.
Gotcha.
So George, with your investigation, I'm sorry, what was your role?
10, sir.
Okay. So with your investigation, you also turn up your investigation, obviously with the 10, you kind of turn up some similar pieces of intel as far as the commander being up to no good, but not in a professional way. The guy is just kind of socially a dickbag. But
what about the name of the ship that left?
The name of the ship, you do get a name of the ship, and nothing comes up off the top of my head, mostly because it's
Dirtbag.
Yeah, Dirtbag is that's a good one. But it is officially registered out of New Bayern. Some of the information that you do get is that evidently New Bayern and Amondiage are in a Cold War kind of situation. And with your 10, you pick up a news calling it a news report is kind of generous. It's kind of a rag piece out of like something like the Daily World News. It's a tabloid, but
That's okay.
there are
Something from the TSA.
Yeah.
TNS.
Yes.
Travel News Services. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not like Travel News Service. It's more like the National Enquirer. But the there is a ring of truth to this trash mag article that you're reading, and basically what it is positing that the conflict in the mine on a Mondiage, or I'm sorry, on a Katy, that it's talking about how there was a firearms related incident. But it goes in further than all of the news reports that you read, and it states that 3 off-worlders were killed. Their small launch ship was shot down, and then the ship was boarded on the ground, and the 3 crew members were shot in the head. And the article posits that this was New Bayern intelligence agents, and they thought that they were actually killing a Mondiage Secret Service agents, and then later found out that these 3 agents were from the Imperium.
All right, well that checks out. That we know that they were pretty highly trained dudes that we fought, right?
Yeah, they were well skilled in Krav Maga.
So if they CIA or they were black ops dudes, that makes sense.
So
but the scary thing to me is that if they arrived here like a week before we did, that means they sent ships all over the place looking for us.
Right.
So they've cast a wide web. We're going to have to worry about them everywhere we go.
If they killed Imperial agents by mistake, let's say unintentional, wouldn't you want to bury that too?
Well, sure.
And that's basically the original news reports that you read. Everything skipped over it. All that you read before you saw this trash magazine was that there was a quote-unquote firearms-related incident. All you knew ahead of time was that the launch was missing and somebody killed these guys, but there has been no news report that there was anybody killed, just a firearms-related incident. No talk about the launch, nothing. And now this article in a magazine that nobody takes seriously is saying, well, this is what we think happened.
It's a conspiracy theory magazine. Yeah, I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying that we logged a trip to a different system completely, and for them to get here a week before we did means that they had to be very paranoid and send ships to a lot of systems. And so I think we need to worry that every system we arrive in after here is going to possibly have agents that are looking for us and are hostile.
Right. So your week goes by.
My paranoia level's up.
Should be.
Yeah, so I'm going to spend the last couple days of the week inspecting the ship for bugs.
So you inspect the ship for bugs. You don't find any bugs. Okay. The only thing that comes up on your deluxe scanner is the stuff that you already know is there.
Right. Okay, perfect.
Which is that's good news.
Yep.
And so the week goes by, and you get you get 2 things. The first thing is that you get a phone call from Mr. Anderson, your attorney, and he tells you that that he was successful in getting the grounding order lifted, and that the obviously there's been no inspection of the ship, so that was successful. But then at the end of the week, he tells you that he had some friends in the judge's office that they saw right through this, and the judge said that the whole thing was a load of crap, and he ordered the port authority to lift the grounding order.
Okay, that ship that actually landed here.
Yes.
I have the name because I looked it up.
Uh
I'd like to call in an anonymous tip.
huh. Okay.
All right. You know what? I'll play the game. So I'm gonna make the same tip on this ship.
Why don't you wait until we're just taking off to make this anonymous tip?
Yeah. Right.
In case something goes sideways, let's be leaving when that happens.
Yeah, not a problem, but I'm also going to leave us a trail. So
I used the Traveler Tools 1 and posted the results in Skype.
I saw that.
So unfortunately, it looks like vehicles are probably our best purchase, but they're a little expensive. I don't know how much we're willing to spend on cargo speculation.
So, yeah, and so the 15,000, you took that out of your ship funds, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Some,
So, like I say, I don't know how much the rest of the crew feels comfortable investing in speculation. But it's a really good price on vehicles. I'm getting them at 60% of retail.
I say we buy them. You know what? It's a great cover, and if we can make a little bit of extra spending cash, so maybe Bohefus might meet another secretary. Right?
Because if
we're going to run out of funds eventually.
So if we were to completely fill the cargo hold, that would be 162,000 credits. That's why I'm asking.
Well,
so
don't forget you've got 5 weeks worth of jump too. So you don't have a whole lot of cargo space.
Well, it's 18 tons of cargo space.
Right.
Yeah. So that's 18 times 9,000 would be 162,000 credits, which is quite a bit of money. That's why I'm saying I don't know how much people are. I don't know what our capital is we're working with and how much people are willing to have us sink into that.
Cash wise, you currently have 199,028.
Right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, did you take that 50 grand for my medical supplies that I'm buying out?
I did not.
All right, because I'm kind of been.
All right, so let's say that. So let's just let's instead buy 9,000 times.
So you're left with 149,028.
All right, so I'm going to buy 11 tons worth. That's 99,000 credits.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm totally, this is a good gig for us. Like, just as a cargo vessel, we have records, we have shipping documents. Yep. We bought this, we sold wood. I mean, it's a great cover.
And then whatever, any other extra fees or anything on top of that, in terms of loading or whatever. So it'd be 99,000. That would be 11 tons of vehicles, like golf carts or whatever.
Right? Yeah.
So whatever, and then like I say, Chris, whatever you in addition to that, that's just sort of a base price. And so there may be broker fees, there may be loading fees, and anything else that you want to throw on top of that.
I think we'll just go ahead and go with that number. That leaves you with 50,028 in cash.
Okay, perfect. And so we've got 7 tons of cargo available still free. I
mean, Bocephus could fill that up with secretaries.
I sure can collect.
Can we buy those?
I mean, no, Cisco.
Are they on the speculative tree?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been having good luck with them.
So well, this makes it kind of funny that we're claiming that we're going to the place that's largely responsible for probably the grievance that we've been dealing with. But that's funny. I'm going to keep with it that New Bern is our next.
Your next destination.
Yeah.
And absolutely. In return to our lawyer friend who was wanting to, I told him I'd give him a solid if he gave me out. I'm going to give him the information on the Port Authority commander cheating on his wife, and I'm just going to tell him all that. If we could maybe get George to take some pictures of the event, so that way when this lawyer has future cases with the Port Authority, he can bring that up or use it to get his way.
Okay, well, yeah,
George
and I
is
mean,
all about that.
with George's investigation, he would have photos of the
Yeah.
Port Authority commander stepping out and meeting this woman for her lunch. The weird thing about the photos is that you notice that, I mean, this woman that he is meeting up with, when you look at these photos, you're like, she's way out of his league.
Yeah. She's into something. She's using him, is what it looks like to me. But I mean, again, that don't really bar me none. If we got a week of partying and chilling out and we're hitting space, you know.
Yeah, you guys are.
Everybody here is using somebody for something. I've already figured it out.
Yeah.
They're all a bunch of scoundrels.
I'm gonna pick up a portable computer with a digital friend to help me with the travel.
Okay. And
I
I
love
think
using the sanity characteristic from Traveler Companion for long trips.
Well,
It gives you a bonus on that roll.
I'm sure that Jack had, if I remember, Jack was the one that had astrogation.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, 5 jumps. So Jack, so I mean, if you're using digital friend, I'm sorry, what does that, is that a +2 bonus?
It just gives you a bonus on sanity checks for long distance traveling.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's
Yeah,
because
that's your Alexa.
Yeah.
So, Jack, go ahead and make a astrogation check.
And I'd like to remind that during
Perfect.
all the time, I'm going to be trying to spread good vibes psionically to the entire crew, so everybody stays calm and cool and full of hope.
Good idea. And so Jack, while you are still on the ground, Jack kind of plots out your course, and so he's got that all planned out. It'll give a +2 to the J drive check, and the next thing, you guys are cleared for takeoff whenever you're ready to go.
Do we want to try?
Hell.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
As
go.
soon as we've got that cargo load, let's get the hell out of
Yeah,
here.
they load up the cargo for your vehicles, and you are ready to go. Jack can make a piloting plus dex check.
I'll leave a Yelp review for the lawyer.
Yeah, I will give my famous punchline to tell New Home, you know, so long and thanks for all the fish.
Wow. So Jack makes that look easy, and takes off. It is a clear, smooth sailing, and you guys are in. Actually, what did I say? This was, where's New Home?
Well, I got a 14 on the jump roll, so on top of whatever bonus he gives.
You're probably looking at about probably 36. Oh wait, this is a jump, or this is maneuver drive 1. Yeah, you're probably looking at about 78 hours in maneuver drive, heading for the jump limit, and it goes fairly smoothly. You know, in that 78 hours, you see that there are a number of ships that come in and out of the system. It seems like what you're seeing is that there are a lot of ships coming in from Colchise and from New Bern. And it seems like New Home is a kind of a hub for these kinds of vessels, mostly because New Home is a neutral world. And so yeah, 78 hours goes by, no nothing unexpected, no customs checks, no nobody got too close. I mean, space is so big, I don't know how that would even be possible in the first place. And you are ready to do your jump. So whoever wants to make a engineering J Drive plus intellect or education, and you get a +2 to that.
So I got a
That's not
14.
me.
So it's a 4. I rolled a 14, so it's a 16 technically with the +2.
Okay, so you guys, and I am not going to. I'm not going to make you roll each time for blank hexes. I think a 14 is good enough that we can say nothing untoward happened. Next week we will pick up with you guys coming out of your 5-week journey. Well, we'll discuss the 5-week journey, but then we're going to be picking up with you guys arriving at Herzen's Lust and investigating, looking for the coordinates to Drop Point Hotel.
That's right.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, that's where we're heading.
Yeah. So that was fun.
All right. Well, we will
Yeah.
pick this up next week, you guys. So far, you are. I honestly, I'm gonna, and I don't usually hand these out that much, but I'm gonna give everybody 1 XP point because you guys have dealt with this so perfectly. I mean, you actually thought of going and getting an attorney, which is, in my experience, I've never seen players think things through that well. So you guys get 1 XP point that you can spend on any skill you would like.
Like advocate, maybe.
Like maybe advocate.
I can save it, right?
If you have it spent before next week, that would be best.
Oh,
Well,
I
I mean-
can't actually add it.
No, you're not. So technically, we're using the rules for XP out of the Traveler Companion, and you
Yeah,
are...
but I need like 2 XP points to get to my next thing, right? I only have 1.
Right. So you only have 1. It needs to be spent immediately. But
Does that mean I can spend it and say I'm working towards something?
no, but there will be...
Because spending it's just pointless. Because then I'm just going to end up with having 1 in everything, right?
It really undercuts jack of all trades, is what it does.
Well,
Oh, I don't
that,
want Jack.
yes.
Well, yeah, that's.
But in the future, there will be situations where you get more than 1 XP point. I promise.
It's when you get 2, it gives you a wider array of skills, but
True.
The first time you get 1, you're 0, and then the second time you get a 1, you're a 1, and then you kind of need 2 to progress.
Right.
So yeah, so when we get 2, don't split it up. Use it to take one of use it.
This is the reason that I use the XP rules out of Traveler Companions, because the situation that I ran into when I first started playing 2nd edition Mongoose was with the standard training rules. One of 2 things happened. Either you had a player that was exceptionally lucky with their education check every single time, and so they would end up with everybody being in jump space for so long, they would end up with skills at level 5 fairly easily. Or you end up with somebody, this was my wife's character, who would spend all this time studying and studying and studying, and then fail her education check every single time she rolled, and wouldn't get shit. And so she would have to start over every time. And that didn't seem fair either. And so the house rule that I have is that nobody can have a skill over rank 4, because it starts to get ridiculous. Rank 4, you're supposed to be good enough that you're known sector wide for whatever it is that you do.
So one house rule I've heard that's kind of cool is if you fail that education roll, the effect is how many more weeks of training you need. So you don't have to start from scratch.
That's actually not bad either, yeah.
So if you missed it by 1, you're like, okay, I need to spend 1 more week, and then I get it to roll again. So it's not quite as, I don't have to start from scratch every time.
Well, because really that whole basis on those rules too, it takes somebody like myself who has a 5 education. I'm never going to learn anything new.
That's the problem right there, and which is why I like the companion rules. And
So
they also limit you in that you're not going to end up with Supermensch powers for your characters, because you're only getting 1 or 2 XP points, 3 if it's a really, really big situation, to where you can actually increase those skills. I mean, it gives rules for increasing characteristics, but let's be honest, the real way to increase characteristics is either through drugs or through cybernetics. Augmentations. You're probably not going to increase, unless you have really, really low stats, you're not going to increase your characteristics with XP points.
Well, I'm using XP for my Drenaxian campaign, but the main reason I'm doing so is that I'm using the rules for how to build an empire in the Drenaxian Companion,
right?
Where you're trying to court assets,
right?
And what I was worried would happen with my players is that if they felt they had to spend their time training skills, they would never spend that week courting assets.
Right.
They'd just constantly be focusing on all their skills because that's the way they increase their character.
Right.
And I wanted them to actually interact with NPCs and put in the time to build up their information networks and such. And so I felt that the XP system allowed them to kind of do both. And so that's sort of why I'm doing it. However, I was really worried about the idea. I felt that the XP system was very, very generous, and that it could allow characters in a long campaign like Drenax to get incredibly powerful. And so I bumped the table up a bit. I jumped it one step to go from 0 to 1. So rather than it only being 1 point to go from 0 to 1, it's 2, and it's 4 to go. You know what I mean? So I sort of put the bump there because I worried that it would. And I've still told the players, we may revise this completely if it starts getting too close.
Haven't, and I've done this with 3 campaigns, and I haven't run into a problem with the XP system being overly powerful, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Like I said, the house rule that you can't have a skill over 4 really kind of puts a kibosh on things. But with the XP system, what I'm seeing is that, one, generally, if you keep it, if you as the DM are honest and keep it to 1 or 2 points per adventure, nobody's going to really be able to get that far anyways. And the second thing that keeps it in check is that you can only ever have your intellect plus education times 3 number in skill points anyways. So even if you get to that maximum, even if you do have XP points, it won't do you any good because you can't learn anymore.
Bro, you end up with everything at 0, and so like I say, it really undercuts jack of all trades.
Right, it can, yeah.
Yeah, so because if you have a real low int in education, you can still have every single skill at 0.
Right.
So.
Yeah. In one of our campaigns, we had a guy who was the archetypical belter, and his intellect and education times 3, it was so low that it came out to he could only ever have a maximum of 28 skill points. It was dumb. And
Wow.
and so, after, a year's worth of games, he would get XP. He's like, well, everything's at 0 now because he just had zeros all across his sheet because he couldn't really raise anything.
It's funny. Yeah, I took mine in unarmed combat. I went on, and it's now unarmed combat 1.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
I picked up Advocate 0.
Nice.
Okay, in my little investigation and sneaking around, I'm taking stealth at 0.
Good idea.
Just so you know, George, I have stealth of 1. So if we ever need to go on a stealth mission, I can go with you.
I have stealth 0.
Let's do it.
I have stealth 0, but my deck sucks. Well, it's mediocre. I'm my character's so funny. 7, 8, 8, 8, 11, 6. So it's every, aside from education and psionic, everything is a 0.
Well, that's not too bad because I got 8, 9, 9, and then I got a 13 in intellect. Intellect went up there, and then I got a 5 and a 4.
Right.
Which is not
it's always it just always cracks me up because Chris will sit there and go, you can use this or you can use. I'm like, they all are 0. It's okay unless it's education. Every option you're providing me is a 0, so it doesn't really matter, in terms of the.
What's Jack taking for a skill? Oh, we might have already lost him.
Looks like he dropped.
He dropped. All right. Well, you guys have your XPs and your skills checked out. We will pick this up next week at 7 o'clock on Friday. And with you guys arriving on Herzen's Lust and dealing with Drop Point Hotel.
Awesome.
All right. I will see you guys in a week.
Yeah,
Take care.
I will do my medical shopping and I'll put it in a text file.
Yeah, well, yeah, whatever is, like I said, as long as it's up to tech level 13.
Yeah, that's so far I'm not above it on anything that I've really drooled over.
Right,
Whatever.
right.
Yeah, but cool. I'll see you next week.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Chris. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Take care.